Hi, I am so pleased to introduce to you Frank Viele. Perhaps you know his music. He's a quadruple threat. He's from New Haven, so you sing, you write, you perform, and you play the guitar. And then by day, your day job is what?
I work in education furniture for W.B. Mason.
Education furniture, so you can start building guitars. Frank, I saw you on the stage at the Katharine Hepburn Cultural Arts Center, and I was blown away by your different approach. You're a young guy, but it sounds like you've been singing for a long, long time. Would you describe yourself as an older soul?
I think that's probably a good way to put it, yeah.
All right, so growing up in New Haven, when did you first think, I'm gonna get into music?
Well, it was kind of always around me. My grandmother played piano.
What kind of piano? What kind of things did she play?
She was from Macon, Georgia, so she played stride piano. She would come into town, and I didn't know it was stride piano then. It would be years later till I actually started studying music to realize what it was. But you know, I always loved old soul music. And then I had an older brother who was 9 years older than me, so when you're a kid and your brother's that much older than you, he gets into things like music a lot earlier than you do. So it ends up being around the house. And
did you start on the piano or did you pick up a guitar?
I actually started on the piano.
And what did you start playing?
TV theme songs.
TV theme songs. I love that. So did that, at some point, did you write jingles?
I actually did do one jingle at one point for an old pizza spot in Hamden called Blues Pizza.
Do you remember it? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I don't think I do.
Okay, so if you don't remember,
I remember
that's
I was the voice of a talking saxophone on Nickelodeon for local television for Blues Pizza in Hamden when that was around.
All right, so when did you first get your first break? You're playing, I'm moving fast here, through your childhood, and you're growing up, you're hearing your grandmother play the piano. When did you pick up the guitar?
I picked up the guitar. My older brother, who I had mentioned, he graduated from college and decided that he was going to travel cross country with his friends in a van, you know, and see the country. And he couldn't fit everything in the van, so he left the old beat-up Epiphone guitar and this guitar strap that was my dad's.
Really? So your dad
home.
Played as well?
Yeah, my dad played a little. He had it around. He had given it to my brother long ago, and so he left those things home, and I was probably in the 5th grade, and you know, I said, why not? I always loved music, so I started to teach myself guitar.
So what songs, can you play a little of what you started to learn? I mean, are you self-taught or did you take lessons?
I'm self-taught for the most part. I took a couple lessons when I was a kid down by the old Flag Music in Milford, Connecticut. An old great guy named Bob Shea, and I hadn't seen him in about, I don't know, 15, 18 years. And then I ran into him at a Sam Ash recently in New Haven.
Oh my gosh.
So that was pretty cool, and I got a chance to hand him my CD, and he saw everything I was doing and who I was playing with, and I think he was pretty proud.
First song that you wrote that somebody said, that guy's good. What was it?
Wow. I actually was always afraid to sing, so I used to write songs in high school, and I had a different singer. An old friend of mine named Dave would sing them for me, and we won a talent show senior year of high school.
Well, there you go.
You know, and so I think that maybe that was the time. Maybe that's when it all started. Then I went to college, started playing a little bit, a lot more. And
where'd you go to school?
I graduated from Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York, where I graduated with the Wall Street Journal Award, #1 in the business school with a degree in business and a minor in music.
So you're a smart dude. Well, we have to add that too. You're like really smart. You play music. When did you adopt this look, or is this just you?
The look, you mean like
the look is just you?
The jeans and
yeah.
And the shirt. Well, I can say this much: when you burn the candle at both ends, like I do, you want something easy. So t-shirt, jeans, boots, and plaid shirt. And collection of trucker hats tends to just kind of work lately.
All right, I'm trying. Yes, it does. I'm trying to get you to play a little tune of something that you really love that you wrote. Give me a few. And we know that you have a new song coming out called Pomegranate. It's going to get radio play as of Monday. You said?
Yes.
Yes.
So that date is Monday.
So how cool is that?
Well, I'm crossing my fingers. The way radio works is Yeah. You make a nice little sheet telling all the radio stations about yourself, and then you take a CD and you put a little sticker on it with the songs you want them to listen to, and you put them into like 600 bags, and you mail them out to 600 radio stations, and you have an ad date and everything like that, and every radio station gets together, listens to all the songs that they get, and they have promoters that call and say, hey, did you hear that new Frank song? And would you please add it? And then hopefully enough radio stations add it. But I do know that locally, one station that's been a huge supporter of mine the last year has been Radio 104.1. That's been playing a lot of my music and showing me a lot of support. I walk in the local coffee shop and I hear, I just heard your name on 104.1.
So what does that feel like? Frank Viele. Oh yeah, that's a Frank Viele song. What does that feel like?
It's pretty cool.
You are so humble. Since you are humble, let's talk about who you've been on stage with so far. Drop the names.
Well, the first person to really take me on my national tour and kind of show me the country was a guy named Zach Myers from a band called Shinedown. He's a side project that he brought me out with, and I've done 2 30-date tours almost across the country with him. And then another one who I'll be announcing later this week, early next week officially, but I'll be doing another tour. I've done 3 with him already with Season 8 American Idol winner Lee DeWise.
Of course.
So he's brought me out on a couple national tours. I got to see the West Coast with him for the first time last year, playing shows out in Seattle and Lake Tahoe and San Diego and everywhere, which was super cool. And just this weekend, I had a tremendous opportunity. I was asked to play 2 shows in Long Island and in New York City, opening for John Waite.
For John Waite.
And those were incredible shows. And the coolest part afterwards was his, I haven't announced this on social media yet either because I haven't really found the right words for it. But
well, do it here.
It just happened yesterday. So his band came out and saw me at the merchandise table after the show was over and said, come down to the green room. John wants to meet you. So I guess they had heard I did well night 1, and then they stood stage side where I couldn't see them and listened to me on night 2. And John, who's one of the best rock and roll voices ever, wanted to tell me that he thought I had a very awesome voice and that he loved my music, and he said that just so I don't forget it, he wrote that on a poster of his and signed it and gave it to me.
To which you said what?
Thank you. I didn't know what to say. I mean, it kind of intimidating. I wasn't going to give him a hug, although I wanted to.
Are you surprised by the success that's starting to happen? It sounds like you're just doing your thing, and people are recognizing how talented you are.
I mean, I never picked up a guitar and did music because, I wanted to be famous or whatever. This was always kind of just, a way for me to kind of understand the world around me. And, excuse me, I'm a little choked up here, but as it kind of progressed more and more and I got a chance to see more and more of the country, of course, this kind of became like, wow, this is a pretty cool vehicle to live by. And, I've had a lot of great friends I've had a chance to share the stage with. I've watched them rise to, big success. And, kind of always crossed my fingers that my time would come, but never really pushed forward.
You're from New Haven. You're going to stay grounded. So when you write a song, do you think of a theme or an item that you have in your house and you just start writing? How do you write?
So it used to start. I actually really kind of honed my skill following the Dave Matthews Band when I was in high school. I'm sure my mom's gonna be watching, but I think she knows the story by now. But I used to play that game, where my friend Mike would tell his mom he was staying at my house. And I would tell my mom I was staying at his house.
That's age old.
And then we would hop in, his beat up old van, and we would drive all the way to Pittsburgh to see the Dave Matthews Band for 3 nights. So by the time I had graduated college, I'd actually seen them about 137 times.
137 times?
Yep.
So.
And I learned how to play in the parking lots of their concerts. So I used to follow all that, and that's where I kind of, honed my skills for a while.
All right, give me a little something that you just wrote. Not the one you're going to play at the end of this, but just give me a little something so that we can show folks your talent.
So one of my favorite songs on the record is a song called Honey that I wrote, and I had the lick on it's really cool. I love it. Got that. sugar told me, but we can light the flame, or we can roll the dice. Yeah, we can play the game. And I do that kind of thing where I've learned, you know, we're doing a lot of acoustic shows lately to, like, when the vocals come in, to use that kind of Dave Matthews-y stop thing where it's like, instead of just going, the whole time I go. So it keeps the groove kind of going and the chords there without, with still letting the voice kind of do its thing.
So you said you didn't like to sing that much to start out with. How'd you find your voice? How did you find what you were gonna be?
I got kicked out of a band in college where I was playing guitar, and I wanted to do songs that had a little more something to them, and I was really discovering myself as an artist and a guitar player. And I was writing songs for other people to sing, and I wasn't really happy with, you know, the direction the songs were going once they got there. I had grown up really in love with people like Otis Redding and Sam Cooke. And, you know, so I was having that struggle. And then I realized that I read one of my favorite quotes. I'm gonna butcher it, but I really love folk music, you know, obviously Tim Hardin, Bob Dylan, stuff like that. But I also love soul music, so Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, Ray Charles. And when Sam Cooke first heard Bob Dylan, The Times They Are Changing, he went home and he wrote, "A Change Is Gonna Come." And then he was quoted in Rolling Stone saying that after he heard Bob Dylan, he knew that from here on out it wasn't gonna be about how good somebody sings, but about whether or not when they sing you believe they're telling the truth.
Interesting.
And so I felt that, you know, my story, my songs were very personal to me, and they all kind of came from things that I had seen and experienced, you know, in my life. And that if I was going to really express those to other people, that I had to figure out a way to sing them.
People are going to see that you are all in. When you're playing, you become the guitar. I mean, you're really into it. And the kind of energy that you have, I haven't seen in a lot of people on stage. Do you completely lose yourself when you're playing?
I've been told a lot to open my eyes when I perform. I tend to close them a lot. I mean, yeah, I think so. I think I've gotten better at it. But
why do you have to open your eyes if you're really into your song? What difference does it make?
I agree.
You got to start carving out your own thing.
Yeah, no, I do. I tend to, you know, I had to learn over time to find a comfort zone on that stage because I used to have, and once I used to front a band when I came out of college. We were called Frank Viele and the Manhattan Project, and I had a big horn section and everything else, and I was used to being a big band. And, you know, having that big support mechanism behind me of just ridiculously talented players to this day I learned so much from. And what was happening was there was national acts that were offering me an opportunity to play in front of them. But, well, they didn't really want a big 8-piece band in front of them. So I had to learn to find a way to convey the music, you know, which is this.
And that's scary. It's just you and that. And there you are on the stage.
I once went on stage in front of the Marshall Tucker Band at the Paramount Theater. There had to be 8,000 people there. And it was just me and this guitar. I mean, just this Sunday, it was opening for John Waite. Sold out 600 people at the City Winery in New York City. And
we're so proud of you.
I definitely closed my eyes for the first couple of songs.
So if somebody describes your music, what do they say about Frank Viele?
I get blue-eyed soul sometimes. They hear the raspy voice. I do get Joe Cocker once in a while, which is a super compliment. I don't know. People, I think maybe, you know, I have this concept. I don't know if it's a real concept. If someone else has already coined it and I don't know it exists, then good for them. But I call it New Americana, in a way. You know, really, American music. I mean, I was born in the mid-'80s, and if you look at what American music was, we had just coming out of like 70s. I'm a big music guy. I collect records, like music. Like I'm lucky to be playing it, but you know, most times I'd rather even be listening to it, you know. And so we came out of, you know, the 60s into 70s rock, and then the 80s brought us to like a bunch of great guys who used to be lead singers of big rock bands that kind of found great recording studios, had solo careers. And then the 90s, I mean, everything from, grunge rock to, the revolution of hip hop to, people like the Dave Matthews Band and Blues Traveler, all those types of things. I mean, I grew up in front of MTV. My aunt still tells stories about when I was a little kid and she used to come babysit. She would just put me in front of MTV and I would be obsessed with the Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer video.
Oh, sure.
The claymation and everything. So it's one of those things where I think I'm such a music lover that depending on what song you're getting out of me, the word eclectic comes out a lot. But, I have a love for anything that's good, from jazz to blues to really everything that's basically become now American music.
Where are you going to be in 5 years, do you think? Do you have goals, or are you just doing your thing?
I used to set goals. My goal was, when I graduated college and I had student loans to pay and life I had to live and responsibilities. I got my job. And I said, Frank, you can still do music, but give yourself to age 25. At age 24, I found myself in my band in Cove City Sound Studios with a record being produced by Billy Joel saxophone player Richie Canada, and he was playing on my album, and I found myself on big stage with a big band. And I said, okay, I give myself till age 30. At age 30, I got a phone call, and probably one of the top blues guitar players, currently in the country, a guy named Joe Bonamassa, I decided he was going to play the lead guitar on my record. And so then when that happens, I said, okay, I'll give myself till 35. And that's where I'm at right now. And now I can say, at this point, I can't see stopping. I love it so much. I really do.
Well, I want to let folks listen to what it is that you're going to be hearing on the radio on Monday as we tape this. Frank, I continue to watch your career and see what you're doing, and I love that you're from New Haven, and I love all the things that you're doing, and keep doing your thing, and close your eyes if you want to. Thank you very much.
She lifts her skirt up past her knees as she can skate on by. Now she finds herself all alone on a Friday night, and just one pomegranate kiss gonna seal her fate. But she finds herself wondering why she really can't wait. And they clipped her wings, now she says she can't fly. So she makes all the boys out to be the bad guy. Now little did she know, the time would run short. She smokes Sunday's last cigarette and begins to grow old. And just one pomegranate kiss, I'm gonna take it all away. But she laces them boots up extra high and walks another way. And they clipped her wings, now she says she can't fly. So she makes all the boys out to be the bad guy. But honey dear, I seen it clear, you bet running hard, but you're flying like a stone. And darling, don't you know, These days are long for sure. When you're not sure what you're fighting for. When you're not sure what you're fighting for. And the clipped her wings, and Nasa says she can't fly. So she makes all the boys out to be the bad guy. But honey dear, I seen it clear, you've been running hard, but you're flying like a stone. And darling, don't you know, these days are long for sure. When you're not sure what you're fighting for. When you're not sure what you're fighting for. She lifts her skirt up past her knees, now she can skate on by.
Spend all night kissing, and if one was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm so wishing I could find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store of my mind. Just to save time, skip right ahead to the last ride.